Hello and welcome to another RE7 talk, today with another international guest from Slovakia, Marek from DEVINBAND. Welcome.
Happy to be here. It's a pleasure.
Today we are going to talk from agency to product innovator. As I understood, you had before like an agency and later on you decided, or maybe you realized, to switch to product. So today we want to talk about this more because I guess lots of other agency owners thriving to accomplish this, what you already accomplished. So tell me a bit about your journey with your agency and when did you switch to product innovator?
Absolutely, and happy to share my little bit. First of all, I wouldn't call myself a product innovator, but I'm really happy to be have some smaller and yeah, some global success with some of the products. And as for the agency, I didn't switch for products. I expanded to products, so I still own the agency. Just a brief introduction for myself. I started the agency when I was 22, 19 years ago. And with my fellow partner, we were like computer science students and university. And I realized we would like to be more creative. So as two computer guys, like really nerds, started an advertising agency. It was quite a journey. But then there was this wave of digital agencies, and since we were tech natives, we really surfed on the wave, and we've grown to 50 people in several years. Then I started another branch in another country, Czech Republic. Again, we grew from 0 to 50 quite quickly. So with about 100 people, I was lucky enough to have people that were even better at managing agencies than myself. So I was able to hand them the agencies over for running them. So I have I'm in a board level position, and I have different people running the agencies. Pretty successful, I must say. In Slovakia, we're the agency of the year. So it's a nice story. And as for the products, at a certain period of time, I realized I love advertising. I love the whole, but I love more how agencies work from inside. And we had like 10 plus internal tools that we have built ourselves to make our own agency life easier. And I realized some of them, like from day one, I wanted one of them to be an product sold to other companies. And there is a heap of inspirations in the advertising space, like Basecamp built in an agency, HubSpot an agency, MailChimp as well. Like the big ones, they were building an agency, and I was like, I would love something like this happen. And with the first one, it was a project management tool for time tracking at the very early years, and we managed to sell to another agency in Slovakia. But since the agency was growing, I had not enough focus for like pushing through. So this was just an early thing. And then we had like 5 different tools that were able to be sold outside. And at a certain period of time, I realized, okay, this one is pretty nice, and it's called Contentino, and it's a social media approval and collaboration platform, something similar to maybe Hootsuite or Buffer, but more focused on the approval part. And it went quite global. It's used by 2,000 agencies around the world. It's very nice. It's still expanding. So this was the first product that went really global. And now in the last 4 years, I made myself a bigger challenge, and it's make the agency, like I'm building Alfred, which is an agency management platform which combines management and finance into one tool, because agencies are run quite differently than other businesses, and I'm aware that everybody who is from agency space knows this. So there were no proper tools from my perspective that would support the things that agency would need.
Wow, what a journey. So I understood 19 years since you started your first agency. So I have so many questions. I don't know where to start because first of all, my first thought was like you scaled really fast, as I understood, from 0 to 50 employees. So I noticed a lot of agencies that have to struggle, like 0 to 10 to 15 is like able, and then they got stuck. So I'm wondering, maybe you have some advices, because probably through the same challenges. So when you reach this like this top, this ceiling of 15 people, so how did you scale further to 50? I mean, what do you think were the necessary steps that you took until you were able to scale more? I mean, I also understand sometimes you have maybe some external money. Other agencies sometimes have some external money, so it's much easier. But how was it for you? Maybe you can tell me a bit about this more.
Yeah, I'm glad to. We never took external money for the agencies, so this was not the problem. But my clarification question to you is, maybe agencies get stuck because they cannot get the revenue, or
Yeah.
maybe agencies get stuck because they cannot deliver the processes. So there are two different things. And we were
Yeah.
not struggling with the revenue part because at the moment, I mean, first 2 years, we really were students. So we didn't grow that fast. So we was like 3 in a year and 4 or 5 in the second year, because we were still the agency was like, let's try it, and we were learning it quite a lot at that point. But later on, I think it was the year 2008, which was the great crisis. Like
Yes, I
everything
remember.
going down. I think we had a little bit of luck as well, because we were quite cheap, first thing.
Yeah.
And a second more important thing, this will be like 50% of the success, but the rest of it is digital came, and all the other network agencies in our region, they weren't able to tackle it, even the big agencies abroad. So it took them 3-4 years to figure out how to do it. They had digital managers, they had developers, they couldn't work with them, they were expensive, so they were struggling quite a lot, and we were able to do it very nicely. And I think the digital thing was a first boost. So I call it a wave. Like we were surfing on a wave of digital, and then this also came. We were the first agency to hire a social media manager, and we were the first agency to really play with Facebook applications once they was created. And since we were at the edge of the wave, it made us it gave us such a differentiator to all the other agencies. So, for example, at the point Facebook, you were able to make a Facebook application, and if you finished a test, you got automatically a post, like auto posting on your wall. And
Okay.
and we had this client and car insurance company, and we made a silly quiz that you could test your driving skills, like 10 questions. Once you finished the test, you could automatically auto post it that what's your result. And actually we're testing it. It was not live by the point, and after the weekend it got like 3,000 users, and
Wow.
after the week, it got 300,000 users. It was a real viral. The server was crashing, so we had to tackle with it. And at this moment, you got like priority, and from every user you got an email address, because GDPR was not present at the point. So we were able to have successes like this that came from our technical capabilities. So I think this was what helped us to really gain. And with these references, we were able to attract new clients in a quite small market quite quickly, because the spread worked pretty fast.
Wow. I mean, I call this innovation, even if you said you don't want to be called, but this is like you were the first. So that was probably the key, that and you saw a chance in order to make something, like to be the first, like with the social media manager. Also what you just told us with the app, which lead, of course, to big success at your customer, and that helped you also to grow. Because I mean, if you have success, your revenue goes like higher, and you can invest, and you can grow. Because as you mentioned it before, you have these agencies that struggle to grow with the revenue, and other that struggle with the processes.
And as for the process, it's again very similar.
Yeah.
So many agencies struggle with time tracking and other things. So since we were like computer geeks, we built our first tools in the first days, And me and my partner, being agency owners, just two of us, we started time tracking day one because we knew we had to have our data correctly. The third employee, he was just tracking time. The 20th was just tracking time because the 19 other before them were tracking time. So we never had this problem of introducing unpopular things because we are doing it from day one. And we build our own tools for like every time when we've encountered a problem, we try to solve it by either smart people that had experience or introducing processes, and of course tools that enabled those people and the processes to be met. And we were able to build our own tool, and I think many agencies do actually. And I would assume like a third of agencies have its own built tools, which is absolutely natural because agency people are so ingenious, like in making things better for the clients, and then can do it also for themselves. So I think this isn't something that we were different to other agencies, but at a certain point we were able to start selling it to other agencies, which actually was the differentiator, I think.
Yes, I mean, for sure. And as I understood, you have quite technical people. You said at the beginning, you are computer nerds. So I think it's also important to have some developers in your team in order to build something by yourself. I guess lots of agencies, they build something with Google Sheets and so on, but this is not something that you can actually sell. Maybe you can sell the template and so on, but to have a real product or software, you need also to have the right people in it. And I think this is amazing that you were able to do this, that you were able to build your own product, and after that you were able to sell it. So you told me now you have several products in your portfolio. You have Contentino and you have Alfred. Are there any other tools that you have like on hold or developed already?
That's a good question. Didn't get it quite often. So there is maybe we have another 10 internal agency tools that we still have. Some of them are quite outdated, but that's one thing. And second thing, we always build new tools when a problem arises. And for example, but none of them we are selling to other agencies. But this one, for example, it's called Creative Aid. It's creativeaid.com. I can maybe share it somewhere. And it was built by my third partner in the company, the creative director, strategy director. Again, super digital savvy. And when ChatGPT came and DALL-E and all these AI platforms, he just bundled them together with our developers. So you just write your problem that you would like to have your campaign built in, and it just generates a quite nice strategic presentation, combining strategy, creativity, and pictures and copy as well into one presentation. Nowadays, it isn't something like wow. But a year ago, when we created it, it was like, okay, wow, how could you do this, guys? And so we have multiple tools in the pipeline. But what I learned through the years as well is not only the innovation, is as important as focus. So I had quite a lot of other activities, and I learned that narrowing down the focus, it just brings results as well. So I'm now focusing solely on Contentino and mainly Alfred, which is at the growth phase. So we are not having any other ideas that are in the pipeline yet.
Yeah, but I mean, as you mentioned, I mean, focus is like if you focus, I understood already you work with Contentino, you're already international. I mean, you have over 2,000 clients. I mean, if you can scale up this product, that's even better for you, and you can like put new features in this tool and so on. If you have too many tools, as you mentioned before, you lose track and you have buggy software maybe, or you don't have enough time to focus on one tool. So I fully understand that focus is also something really important.
only to clarify this, it always comes down to the people running the particular products or companies. So if the people are senior enough and have the responsibility and the ownership for running the show, I really don't have to invest my time. And like this, the agencies run pretty nicely. They have their ups and downs, but I trust the management team fully, and they are doing it for 5+ years. So I'm quite aware that I'm no need. There is no need for me. But in those growing companies, it's a different story. And me as the owner, I didn't mention that we have an IT studio as well, software developers, that we branched from the agency because it was like a positioning problem. We were really good in making technical software like internet bankings, as well as super creative TV commercials, and it harmed our positioning. People were unable to believe us that we could do both. So we just branched it to a different company because it was easier to comprehend that these are the IT guys, these are the creative guys. And
makes sense.
we have like 5 companies that are in the group, and mainly all of them I really only sit once a quarter with the director on a board meeting, and everything runs pretty smoothly. But the ones that you are actively involved in, I would say one, maybe 1.5 max what anybody can get.
Wow. And now what I'm wondering, because you said it's mainly on the people. So what is your secret? How did you find the right people for the company? Because I noticed for myself, I think other agency owners have the same struggle when they find people. So how do you have a secret how you find the right people, or you think you were lucky, or what's, because you also said you are not only in Slovakia, you are also in the Czech Republic.
Republic, yes.
So how did you find the people for your companies?
I had I had a recipe before, but I'm not sure whether this recipe works again right now. And our recipe was hire hungry junior people and invest time with them, and it will pay off. And it actually paid off. The IT company is run by our first developer that we hired, or second, third, I don't know, 17 years ago. He made it to CEO. He understood business, and so he's a really great guy to master the IT company. As for the agencies, the Slovak agency is run by a girl that came to the agency as an account executive. In a half year's time, I made her team leader, like account director. In 3 years' time, I handed over the agency, and I still stayed in managing director role. And she was executive director for 3 years, and so she had plenty of time comprehend how we function and what are the things that are working for our agency. And I call it like learning by example. And I think there are 2 other things that helped, like both ways. They were not junior, but they were they had this attitude of learning from myself, and I had also sorry, how do you say geduld in English?
Patience.
Patience. Both of the parties have patience with each other, either learn or be learned. This is very important. But nowadays, if I would have to change a CEO if one of the companies, it would have be much more complicated. So I understand that these people grew with the agency, and hiring a new one right now would be a different story, and I don't have a recipe for that.
Yeah, but I mean, you said you need to be hungry. So how did you identify this? Did you identify this already in the first talk with them, or during they were hired? I mean, in the first months, you saw, okay, they strive for more. They learn maybe extra, or how did you identify this hunger at them?
Yes, the answer is you cannot identify it on the first meeting. I would say maybe you see something there. But all of these people, like this developer guy, Pavel, we had 5 other guys. Only one stayed with us for such a long period of time, but he's more of a creative developer. I mean, he is a mastermind genius with combining creativity and technology. And but this Pavel, he was like technical. He was always growing, like making the one thing extra. And he also had his managerial skills and attitude that he'd like to do it. You saw, I would love to, what could I do? And he was always on top of what he could achieve, and he was like asking for more. And I knew that if I wouldn't give him like the company to lead, I would lose him for a bigger company. So it was always like, I mean, it was always like that. If I wouldn't give the people the space to grow, they would go out. So I had to put myself higher to make room for them.
Wow. Yeah, makes total sense. And I think you also had to challenge them in a way that they would be able to grow. Yeah.
But as for the particular skills, so now we might be talking company culture, and this is the thing I was like really wanting to have a company culture and written down so I understand what's happening. And I sat down with my partners, the 3 of us, for a whole day and thinking about it. We couldn't come up with anything that was like, I was asking myself the question: what would the world missing if our company wouldn't be there? And I couldn't get the answer. And then I just said to myself, just I will leave it as it is, and maybe time will help us. And in a year's time, I realized that all the people that we were hiring, like we were on these interviews, we were searching for 3 particular things: passion. We were looking for humbleness, in terms of I know that I don't know everything. I would love to learn, but humbleness and like professionalism. They knew what they were doing. Even they were juniors, they had different hobbies and work activities within the university. So you were like, they were this extra mile type of people.
Yeah.
And I realized, so if all people that we have hired have these 3 people traits, so this is actually our culture. And it was like, hey, Eureka moment.
Wow. So it burns down to this three key skills that you were looking for when you were hiring them.
Yes. And this made the core of our culture. Then also we realized, like, we are all about innovation. So we expanded to 5 of the people traits, but the core is about the people. And actually, it comes down to you as the founder, what principles you follow in making decisions, in tackling problems. And I think you are normally hiring similar people because they just work with you better.
Yeah. I fully agree with you. So I think the core is that you have, I mean, as you said at the beginning, a good team, especially people you can rely on. I mean, if you have so many like agencies and also like product companies, you need people that you can rely on, that you know, okay, they can run without me. I just have, once per month, you said, a board meeting with them, and to oversee things that everything goes as it should.
Yes, it's and you know, these kind of speeches when somebody gets elected entrepreneur of the year, everybody tends to say it's about the people, but it's about the people. I mean, there isn't any unicorn startup company built on one person. It's always the people going with him, the first ones to be hired. Therefore, all these people, like, I'm Google employee number 9. It just means you were one of the ones that were experiencing the core of the culture and the core of the company. It's actually very valuable.
Yes, I fully understand what you mean. I mean, the sooner you are, the more you can experience the culture, and I think there are lots of people that are still with you on this journey, which I mean, you get to know yourself and you can help yourself, and you're building through the years even more trust, I guess.
Absolutely, very important.
So I'm wondering, I mean, now we talked a lot about successes and so on. Were there also some things, I mean, in this 19 years where you were like, oh, I mean, you know, the entrepreneurship is not easy. So were there also some things where you were like, this Contentino, I don't know if it's the right approach. We don't get any clients or something. I mean, also some really big challenges where you were close to saying, oh my God, it's not worth it, maybe I should change or something, and how were you able to push through?
I'm the kind of person that I do not remember the drawbacks that vividly as the positive ones. Because I had this task to prepare for the fuck up nights in Slovakia. And I was like, I haven't gone through a fuck up, but once I sat down, I couldn't stop writing. I mean, it isn't
Okay.
on top of my head, but there is a heap of the problems. Like really, literally every year, one of those 5 companies is going through a serious crisis. Like really,
Yeah.
maybe I'm really considering maybe it will get bankrupt. Really, like really.
Yeah.
Then when we like do the correct things, it always pushes up from doesn't crash into the ground. So in Czech Republic, we had this situation. We had 80 people in 4 years, and we were always sensing growth because digital was growing, and suddenly e-commerce 2 years ago or a year ago just stopped the growth, and so we dropped the agency. We were unprofitable. We had to get rid of 20, maybe 25 people in one day. It was a disaster. We had very similar situations in Slovakia as well, but maybe not 25 people, but maybe only 10, or like maybe last year we had in the Slovak agency again 50 people, and all the time we had more project revenue than retainer revenue, and every like month new work came, like we were counting on it, but there were 3 months no work came, and we didn't knew why. Just suddenly the market changes, so we were running red numbers, and we normally would lay off 5 to 10 people maybe, and it would be okay. But at that moment, the biggest pitch of the year, O2, which is a telecom operator, and we started with O2 16 years ago, being the white label agency for an agency for an agency for O2. Like nobody knew we were doing it, but we were doing the stuff. 16 years to climb the ladder, and the pitch was about being their main strategic full service agency. And given the pitch, we couldn't lay off the people, because if we would want, we would need them. And you don't lay off people within a pitch because it just doesn't work for the client. You seem unreliable. And the pitch took 6 months.
Wow.
So it was maybe 4, I don't know, like a really long time. Every day was hard. So in every of those companies, we came across problems. None of them were spared. But I think it always comes down to making the decisions, not postponing even hard decision. This is what I've learned over time. Every time when you make a hard decision, it pays off. And actually, the culture, when we laid those 20 people in Czech Republic, I was not hands-on there. We had a CEO running it, but the people were so glued together. Like let's rise from ashes like phoenix. And the energy that I saw on the 50 people that stayed there, it was incredible. And every time, and it made myself realize that the sooner you make it, the sooner you get the energy that is going up.
Wow. interesting insights. And I can imagine, I mean, it must be really hard, I mean, to release so many people at once. But I mean, if we boil it down and we think of an agency, I mean, the highest costs is the staff. I mean, it's your greatest asset, but it's also your greatest reliability. So I mean, and it's pretty hard to make this decision at one point, and I fully agree with you. I mean, postponing it doesn't help you. It's just consuming your cash flow until you're running out of money, or you will finally say, okay, now I'm going to do this. But at the end, it didn't help anybody, not you or the employees that just stayed longer in this environment, you know?
Absolutely, and I wouldn't recommend anybody going through this, but it just happens. In every agency had experience. Like maybe it was 20% of our staff. So if you would have 10 people, it would be 2 people. It wouldn't be such. Wouldn't hurt that much. But we have learned so much on all of those like fuck up that we have experienced, and that's why, for example, I mean, that's one of the reasons why I'm building Alfred, for other agencies not have to going through all those things, because we have learned quite a lot, and many of those things are not well set processes and not good tools. So we didn't, like, at the moment we weren't looking in the future with revenue. We only made our books the month behind. So it was like riding a car and only looking in the rear mirror. Just didn't work. And many agencies are doing like this. They are just working, everything needs nice, and once a month they get a cash flow and revenue report from their accountant. That isn't the way how to run an agency. And so all of those, or maybe other like small things that we realized that one of the parts of making money for an agency is not only selling people and their time, but also buying media and selling with commission, or buying big productions. And it doesn't make sense not sell with commission, because you have expenses connected to this. And this is quite important. But there aren't any tools that would support it, because if you have Asana, you just track hours, plan hours, and it's all right, but you don't get the finance together. So if you plan correctly, you are less likely to go through a big turbulence like I described.
And as I understood, Alfred, it is not only for the Slovakian market, it's for the international market. So you can run it almost everywhere, I guess.
We have agencies from different markets as well. The strongest is our region as well, because we had a good name here. The first agencies they came on were even the network ones like Publicis or Saatchi or the other ones. So it spread quite fast within this market. But we have agencies from UK and from Latvia, Lithuania, or Latvia and Lithuania as well. So different countries, different agencies.
Nice. So if somebody wants to test it, I guess you can go on the website to try it out, to have a trial, or how does it work?
Of course, like if any other SaaS on the website, you see the feature that Alfred is having. But we are always happy to have a call with people to understand their processes better, because then we can guide them through what they should look in the system for. So the web is Alfred with .io, and there is a consultant always sitting and absolutely happy to help.
Yeah, we will put all the links, I mean, of your Devin brand and about Contentino and about Alfred. We will put them all in the show notes so everybody can check them out. And I mean, especially for agencies, as you mentioned before, the time tracking is a big hassle, and also the monthly reporting from the tax accountant isn't enough. I mean, you have to wait at least 1 month in order to know how are your numbers, how should I change the things. So as I understood in Alfred, you have them like in real time probably, and then you can navigate your agency like with real-time numbers. I don't have to wait until your tax accountant has your numbers ready. And as we all know, the tax accountant normally doesn't give you the numbers right away. you need to lead at least 1 to 2 weeks. I mean, that's...
Absolutely. It takes you a month to get those data together. So it's like 1.5 month delay that you're having the data for decisions. But when we were talking with agencies and I was crafting a pitch deck for the investors that invested in Alfred, I realized so many things when I stepped out of the agency bubble. That, there are 3 main problems agencies face. First is problems are identified too late. Everybody knows the problems, but once they arise, you just cannot handle them again already. Second thing, time tracking of creatives. Every time when I tell it, everybody just smiles because everybody knows. And the third thing is that all the agencies have fragmented data. In my perspective, all data is present, but it's in different spreadsheets, in different systems, project management, the media in a different system, and putting all those data together for every project, it just takes maybe half an hour. You are able to do it, but if the project isn't big enough, it isn't worth of making it. So you just don't have the data. But once you have all data in one system, and what I mean by it, if you are making a cost proposal for your client, you make it in Alfred. It helps you quite a lot, like making automated and get suggestions helps you a lot. But once you have this, you are making a project, you just click one button and you get the same structure as the cost snippet for the project. And it stays synchronized all the time. So every time when you change the budget in a running project, which normally happens quite a lot, it gets automatically populated into the project structure. If you are invoicing again the same thing, which is in the budget, in the project, it all stays connected, synchronized. This is actually the biggest help, because most of the problems we were experiencing was not having it synchronized. Maybe example, I was running the agency. It was at the time I was running agency maybe 10 years ago. So this account manager came to me, hey Marek, we were paying 400 euros to Facebook to promote this client. And I was like, okay, so why don't we invoice the client? He told me because he didn't order. Okay, so why are we paying 400 and he didn't order? Because it just nobody just stopped the campaign. It's like, okay, but if we would have a system in place that every expense invoice every month would be connected to the project, I would knew in the first month, and it was literally 4,000 euros down the road. And I was okay, let's make a system. So we've made several small systems, and then I combined all this knowledge into Alfred, which actually solved it quite automatically, a lot of it.
Wow, sounds amazing. And I know exactly what you mean. There are so many providers on the market that offer a tool for specific purposes. I mean, everything costs additional subscription, and then you have the data in the system. You can't export it, or it doesn't have an API. So, as you said, fragmented data. So if you have every data in one system in order to control and to manage your agency, that is amazing. I mean, and as you said before, the industries are totally different from agencies. So agencies have different requests. So if you have a software for this is like what probably lots of agencies are looking for.
That's what we are being told. I'm quite happy about that. And I mean, there are so many differences. I do not know if this is interesting for your listeners, but I just realized again that 5 things agencies are different. Let's compare it to IT, because I have an IT company. So the pace of the project, you have 2 weeks to prepare a fully functioning, really great presentation for the client. You don't get more. You have creatives that aren't responsible that much. They just love freedom and creativity, don't love deadlines. You just have to care about them. Then you have every account manager is running like 20 or 30 projects concurrently in different stages, some really at the start, some just reporting. So many projects open. Normally an IT project manager will have 1, maybe 2 or 3 projects, but that is the most. Then you have the the funniest thing, you have the finance director who loves tables and rules, and you have the yeah. That's what I saw. So we got this CFO hired for the agency from a corporation. She was really smart. In the first 2 months, she couldn't understand why the creatives aren't tracking time. They were told to track time. Why aren't they doing it? It's like, wait and see. And then she finally understood. So finance people love rules, creatives hate rules, and you have this account manager
Yeah.
in the middle, like between two different kinds of approaches, really, really struggling with everything, and also taking care of the clients and the relationships, and like literally everything. So this is the thing that I realized. These guys in the middle, they need the help, and then the agency will run better.
Yes, I fully agree with you. I mean, with the data, you can make easier decisions and you can lead the agency in the right direction. So looking into the future of DEVINBAND, so how do you see things, especially now with AI? Are there already maybe some features in your products, and how do you see the next 5 to 10 years?
I actually don't know what will be there, and I think nobody actually knows. But I'm
Yeah.
super excited about that it's actually happening, because when 12 years or 13 years ago, when we experienced the biggest growth of the agency, it was when digital, social, and actually App Store, Google App Store with the apps, everything was new. And every 2 years, an innovation like this came to the market. And we were so happy about it because we could grow on these waves. And for the last 10 years, there wasn't a wave like that. There was like metaverse, and there was small bits and pieces of something that looked like a crypto was there, and things like that, but none of them really worked for the advertising industry like an elevator. And I think AI actually is it. So we are doing quite a lot in terms of the agency. We are, of course, like every agency, we are leveraging AI tools internally to make our life easier. But we are also doing AI enhanced campaigns. For example, so with one of the biggest radio stations in Slovakia, we've made a campaign that you shoot a photo on your iPhone. It's run through AI, and the most influential radio speaker is with his voice describing what is on the photo in a funny way. It's all AI based because his voice is cloned, and all these things. So we are something that using AI within the work for the clients, within the tools. Content is quite AI powered, so there is this module that is helping you with the text and translations and creating pictures for you, like because it's already there. You just have to have it in your tool. So we are always integrating the newest thing into the products, and I consider ourselves like early adopters, not the innovators, because innovators, it's for me, it's ChatGPT, it's Apple, it's those big guys we actually cannot compete with, but they are building blocks for us, and we can use those blocks. And it's very important to use those because your competition is using them. So, and I think that it's a thing for every agency and for actually every company. It's already easy to be used in everyday life with smaller clients because access to AI, it's already there 10 years with IBM Watson. The big companies were using it, but the small and mid-sized companies hadn't had access. You just have the access right now. You have to use it.
Yes, I mean, this is a nice advice, especially for agencies that still think they can as they did the last years. I mean, I fully agree. The AI is like something totally new, and experiment with your agency with it in order to figure out what is possible, what can you do. And I can see, I mean, it's so fast developing, this entire AI. I mean, it's a few months and then a new ChatGPT version or Claude and so on version comes out with new features. Now Apple launched their new features that come to an iPhone. So there is so much going on. That's why I also think what you said, I mean, with this, what we had before with metaverse and so on, that were just small bubbles. But with this AI, I think there will come even more, and it will stay. I mean, we have to use it. We have to try it in order to adapt and to learn how we can use it in our agency.
Absolutely. And we had the good discussion about AI, because every time we raised the issue of using AI in the agency, I get a pushback that it's overrated in terms of the word is getting fluffier over time. And it reminds me of digital. Like when digital started, people were seeing two worlds, the old world and the digital world. We were trying to see one world that hadn't been enhanced with digital. This is actually nowadays, you are making a campaign, nobody is asking you whether it's a digital or ATL campaign. Every campaign has a digital aspect and an ATL aspect as well. And this is the same with AI, either within tools or in agencies. The world that was there 2 years ago, that will not be there, and the future world is not an AI world. It's a very similar world, like it just has this additional add-on that you can use, and you have to use, because that's how the world is functioning right now.
Yes, that's how it is. Do you have any last thoughts, any last advices for other agency owners after 19 years of having agencies, but also software companies? What advice can you give, like that you would say that is one of the things that really help you on your journey?
I think there might be more, but let's stay with this one that we were discussing at last, and it's be hungry and experiment. If you get a grip on those things that are new, and you are the first, even though they aren't ready to be used commercially, if you tickle and play with them before that they are commercially available, it means once you get an advantage before your competition, and it is very important.
Thank you for your for this good advice, and I can fully relate to this. And I mean, after 19 years, as I understood from your story, from your history, that helped you always in order to be the first to grow your agency, to go to the next level with your agency.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to speak here. It was a pleasure, Sebastian.
Yes, for me as well, Marek. I was really happy to have you here. So if people want to connect with you, I guess they will find you on LinkedIn. They can go probably on your website. What's the website name?
It's devin.band. Like we didn't want to call ourselves a group of companies, because a band is a similar like a group, but like with music instruments. So Devin Band.
Nice. We will also put this in the show notes. So thank you again, Marek, for our listeners and followers. If you have some questions regarding Marek, regarding how did he go from an agency to a product company, just write them in the comments. And if you have any other shares or thoughts, then just write them in the comments. Thank you, Marek, for having you here, and have a great day.
Thank you very much, and feel free to connect with me, anybody, LinkedIn and the comments. I will try to answer everything that I will get. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers.